So I guess the home run derby was done for a reason. I guess that home run derby was done for a reason. Caitlin Clark probably out here to bat like the Yankees. Yankees could maybe do with another batter. They could do with another batter, and in Yankee Stadium, Caitlin Clark was there today. And yeah, this is news because we know it's a slow owl news time. We know it's not the fastest news time because, well, look, not much going on in the owl world of women's basketball right now, but a sport which is thriving right now is the men's sport of basketball, which we are going to be covering that on the Mick Hoops channel. A link will be in the description. If you guys have not subscribed, it's going to be literally these same videos just talking about men's basketball. If we can get the 125 subscribers, that would be absolutely insane. But yeah, Caitlin Clark at Yankee Stadium. And it is funny though, because you're now seeing and this is it when someone is like a phenomenon, and it's the same again. This is what I always compare it to Caitlin Clark to 2015 Stephen Curry. If Stephen Curry went anywhere, he did anything, it became news. And that is the difference between Caitlin Clark and to a lesser extent Angel Reese when it comes to these WNBA players. Like, there are WNBA players currently about to walk to a 8th gold medal in a row or something. I think it's 8 in a row. They're about to walk to another gold medal. But yet, if you look at WNBA players in the news, it is still like Caitlin Clark being at a Yankee game is still bigger news than Team USA sleepwalking to their 8th Olympic gold medal in a row. Like, the only good game Team USA have played was against Australia because seems to be personal with Sandy Brondolo and Cheryl Reeve. It's the only game they didn't sleepwalk so far in this Olympics. But you can see here entire articles. There's so many articles about just Caitlin Clark being at Yankee Stadium, which is kind of crazy. And she was also, they literally interviewed her. They interviewed her like at the game with the commentators. The commentators were there talking about the game, and instead of just halfway through the game, they just decided, yeah, this is baseball. You can see what's going on the screen. We're just gonna go and interview Caitlin Clark, and like, it's funny that it's like the point still is always being made about the Olympics, and as always, Caitlin Clark answers with the perfect question. But it has been an overall good Olympics. I think, look, the women's team's been dominant, just like they've been dominant in every game for the last 20-something. It was the same, 96. Like, the first time they won in 96 was literally before I was born. It was like 6 weeks before I was born. It's that long ago. They've not lost in 32 years. So, yeah, they are never, ever going to lose. But it was interesting with some of the questions that Caitlin Clark was being asked. And it's funny because I think that the WNBA really failed miserably. Not even the WNBA. I think it should have been forced on the WNBA. Because this month break, if you've looked at any sort of like traction when it comes to the WNBA, the momentum is gone. I do think that, look, the season's going to start back up again. We need to see. But if you looked at like the way the trajectory was going, it was kind of like going up, like peaked at the South Carolina game. And then it kind of like went high for LSU, then went higher for UConn, peaked South Carolina. Then draft was down a little bit, but still kind of hyped. First game was kind of hyped. Then it kind of like dropped a little bit as time was going on. She was struggling. There's 11 games in 20 days. And then like as she's playing better, the hype picks up and up. Because at the same time, again, Angel Reese is playing better and better and better and better. They're playing against each other. Both of them are breaking records, especially when it comes to, obviously Angel Reese broke the consecutive double-double record, whereas Caitlin Clark is literally breaking a new record every single week, whether it be rookie record or not even rookie record at this stage, just like basketball record she's breaking every week. And then it just came to a halt as she breaks the assist record. I think the hype culminated in the All-Star game, and I think the month break really was killer. I think that really might be killer for the momentum of the WNBA, because if you're looking at this Team USA women's team is no more hyped than they would have been otherwise. Like, the only time they're being talked about in the media is obviously people talking about Caitlin Clark's snub, which is, again, not what they wanted. People are like, oh, people need to stop talking about this because The problem is now with the whole news cycle is that like people are going to talk about what gets views. Like, would I rather talk about a preview of USA versus France tomorrow than talk about Caitlin Clark being seen at Yankee Stadium? Of course I would. But I know a video about Caitlin Clark at Yankee Stadium is going to get more views than an actual breakdown of this game because nobody cares. And you might be saying, oh, it's like, why does nobody care? Man, the basketball, I'm not going to say it's boring, but it's like, it's just, it's not boring basketball. I just don't feel like there's yet a reason for people to watch a lot of individuals. I think the biggest reason why the men's basketball this time around was 100 times more hyped than in Tokyo, and it was 100 times more hyped than in Rio. And the USA team in Rio walked the Olympics. It was because Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant played, and it's realistically the only time not realistically the only time, it is the only time we're ever going to see them on the same team. And all three of them are at their peak. And they've all effectively defeated Father Time. They're all the best in the history of the sport at what they do. And arguably, like, worst case scenario, 3 of the top 15 players of all time. I mean, the women's, you've got Taurasi. Like, the worst part is, like, Taurasi, Fells, and Sue Bird. Last Olympics was meant to be their send-off. That was meant to be the send-off of those 3 players. But Taurasi went for one more. It would be like if LeBron decided at 43 he wanted to play another Olympics. And he's nowhere close to being good enough. So, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. And then at this point, as great as Stewie and Aja are, they're just better than everybody else. And I don't think there's the players on the other teams. As great as Maureen Johannes is, as great as Emma Messiman is, there's no players on other teams with rivalries like a Jokic, like the fact that every single person in the world seems to hate Rudy Gobert. But yeah, it is one of those things where this is the most viral WNBA story. And again, as always, like Caitlin Clark's asked to answer about it, and she's talking about how great the team is doing, how she's hopefully makes the 2028 team, which I think, look, it's a near guarantee. It'd be very interesting to see what they do in 2028. If they go I really want them to go all young, because if they don't go all young, as crazy as to say, there's no guarantee Caitlin Clark makes the team. It's likely that one of Caitlin Clark or Paige Beckers makes that team in 2020. If they politic their way, it's likely one of Paige Beckers or Caitlin Clark makes the team. And who knows what'll happen in 4 years' time. Highly unlikely, but it's not a guarantee. Either way, yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the biggest WNBA story of today. And it's crazy because there's literally an Olympic final happening tomorrow.